You ever notice how a modern life is just madness with a Wi-Fi connection? They tell you we're more connected than ever. Yet half the time, we can't even connect to ourselves. We got smartphones, smart cars, smart homes, but dumb people. Everyone's got a to-do list, but nobody's got a to-be list. We chase productivity like it's a religion. Coffee in one hand, anxiety in the other. Everything's organized. Meetings, schedules, algorithms, hell. Even our madness comes with a user manual now. We've turned life into a spreadsheet. Eat here, hamburger, work here, laptop, computer, die here, coffin, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your way down. They sell us the illusion of progress. New phones every year, same problems every day. We've mistaken emotion for a meaning. We're running faster, but we have no idea where the finish line is. Modern life isn't living, it's maintenance. Update this. Recharge that. Respond now. We're not human beings anymore. We're just a human doings. And the craziest part, we call it normal. That's not sanity, folks. That's organized madness. You ever notice how a modern life is just madness with a Wi-Fi connection? They tell you we're more connected than ever, yet somehow nobody really connects anymore. You can message a stranger across the world in a second, but you can't look your neighbor in the eye for more than 2. Everyone's scrolling, liking, sharing, pretending to care. The whole planet's plugged in and no one's tuned in. We've got smartphones, smart TVs, smart homes. But the people using them, not so smart. We've outsourced our thinking to gadgets and our memory to the cloud. The machines are getting smarter and the humans are getting dumber, lazier, and more anxious than ever. You don't even have to remember your own birthday anymore. Your phone will remind you. And even send a fake happy birthday to someone else automatically. Now that's progress. We've built technology to save us time, but nobody seems to have any. We're all too busy trying to keep up with the very things that were supposed to make life easier. People live by notifications now. We used to wake up to sunlight. Now we wake up to alarms, messages, and emails marked urgent by people who have no idea what urgent means. We've turned into trained lab rats who hit refresh for dopamine pellets. Ding! Someone liked your photo. Ding! Someone followed you. Ding! Someone you don't know, never met, and will never meet thinks you're important for 5 seconds. And that's enough to keep you hooked. That's not connection. That's addiction. Modern life is organized insanity. Everything's scheduled, categorized, optimized. We have meetings about meetings. We make to-do lists about to-do lists. You need an app just to remind you to breathe, stretch, and drink water. Basic human functions now require push notifications. Even madness comes with a structure. 9 to 5, 5 to 9, repeat. We've turned life into a production line. Wake up, consume caffeine, produce content, pay bills, pass out, repeat. And we're proud of it. We brag about being busy as if exhaustion is a badge of honor. No one says I'm peaceful, that would sound lazy. If you're not hustling, grinding, side gigging, you're a failure. We've created an economy that sells stress and calls it success. We've mistaken motion for meaning. People run from one task to another, but ask them why, and they'll stare blankly like you just unplugged them from the simulation. Everyone's chasing something, money, validation, followers. But no one stops to ask, what for? It's like we're all in a race where nobody knows the destination and the finish line keeps moving anyway. They tell you it's progress. But progress toward what? New phones, new apps, new distractions, same old emptiness. They tell you to upgrade your device, but when was the last time you upgraded yourself? We've become digital janitors, maintaining our screens, deleting emails, updating system. The only thing we don't update is our minds. Modern life feels like a game you can't win. You try to slow down, and they tell you you're falling behind. You try to keep up, and they tell you you're burning out. You try to disconnect, and the world calls you crazy. Everyone's pretending to have it all together while silently falling apart. We live in a world where depression is trending, anxiety is normal, and silence is uncomfortable. We fill every quiet moment with noise, podcasts, playlists, news feeds, anything to avoid being alone with our thoughts. We fear stillness because it reminds us how empty all this activity really is. And yet, through all the chaos, we keep calling this a normal. That's the funniest part. People defend it. They'll say that's just how life is now. No, that's how we've chosen to make it. We built this system, this hamster wheel, this organized madness. And now we worship it. We bow to the calendar, the clock, and the screen. We schedule happiness, plan relaxation, and set alarms to remind us to sleep. We're not human beings anymore. We're human doings. We don't live. We maintain. Update this. Recharge that. Respond to this. React to that. We are caretakers of our own digital prisons, and we call it freedom. The irony would be hilarious if it weren't so tragic. Modern life is a perfectly organized circus. Everyone performing, juggling deadlines, balancing expectations, walking the tightrope of appearances. And just like a circus, it's exhausting when you realize the show never ends. The lights never go off, the clowns never leave, and the audience is just as trapped as the performers. That's what we call progress. Madness with better graphics. Not everything today looks neat, polished, and under control. The lights blink, the apps sync, the schedules align. You'd think we finally figured life out. But all that order is a disguise for chaos. We built a world that looks perfectly organized on the outside but feels completely unhinged on the inside. The calendars are full, the inboxes are overflowing, and everyone's pretending they're fine while quietly losing their minds. We call it efficiency, but it's really exhaustion wearing a suit. The system makes sure everything runs on time, even if it means running you into the ground. You wake up, check your phone, scroll through panic disguised as productivity, and convince yourself you're in control because you clicked accept all cookies. The illusion of control is everywhere. We track our steps, our sleep, our calories, our followers. We monitor everything except our sanity. Modern life gives you 100 ways to manage the madness. Meditation apps, planners, reminders, digital detox weekends. But notice how everything meant to calm you down still comes with a subscription fee. Even peace of mind has been monetized. There's nothing spontaneous anymore. Everything's optimized, categorized, and branded. People can't even eat without turning it into content. The meal isn't for nourishment. It's for validation. Snap a picture, post it, wait for approval. It's not lunch, it's marketing. Everywhere you look, control is an illusion. The traffic lights, the policies, the corporate systems, the endless updates. It's all built to make you believe someone's steering the ship. But no one is. The world's on autopilot and the pilot's asleep. Governments manage numbers, corporations manage data, and individuals manage anxiety. We've mistaken predictability for peace. You ever notice how people freak out when things don't go according to plan? A meeting runs late, a flight gets delayed, the Wi-Fi drops for 10 minutes, and suddenly it's the apocalypse. That's what happens when you build your life around the illusion of control. The moment something slips, people panic because deep down they know the truth. They're not running the show's running them. We're told we're in charge of our choices. But the choices are pre-selected, curated, and presented to us by algorithms that know us better than we do. They predict what we'll buy, what we'll watch, who we'll like, and even what we'll believe. It feels like freedom, because you get to pick your flavor of manipulation. You're not choosing. You're browsing in a digital zoo built just for you. The system thrives on keeping you feeling like you're in control. Because if you ever realized you're not, you might stop participating. The schedules, the structures, the goals, they give life shape but not meaning. They keep the madness neatly contained inside invisible lines. It's chaos with good manners. Everyone's running around in circles, convinced that the shape of the circle is progress. We plan everything down to the minute, and still we never feel settled. The more we organize, the less we understand. The more we control, the less alive we feel. That's the grand joke of modern civilization. We're drowning in structure but starving for purpose. We've built a cage so polished that we forgot it's a cage. The walls are made of convenience, the bars are made of choice, and the lock is made of fear. Fear of losing control in a world that never gave us any in the first place. Somewhere along the line, we stopped being human beings and turned into human functions. We wake up to alarms, not to morning. We move through checklists, not through moments. Everything we do is mechanical. Efficient, yes, but empty. The soul got edited out for the sake of speed. You can feel it when you look around. People aren't living anymore, they're just maintaining. Maintaining jobs, maintaining appearances, maintaining devices, maintaining their sanity. Barely. It's not living. It's upkeep. We were promised that all this technology would free us, remember that? When you more time for the things that matter. That's what they said. But somehow the more tools we get, the less time we have. The faster we work, the busier we become. The moment something saves us a second, someone finds a way to sell that second back to us. The machines took over the labor, and we took on the anxiety. We used to build communities. Now we build profiles. We used to talk, now we comment. We used to share experiences, now we share data. Every part of being human has been repackaged into something marketable. Friendship is networking, art is content, and curiosity is engagement. People are brands now, walking advertisements with feelings on mute. It's no longer about who you are, but how you appear. And if your appearance doesn't perform well, you edit it until it does. We call this progress, but it's a strange kind. We measure our worth in numbers. Likes, followers, dollars, steps, calories, metrics for a life that can't be measured. Everything's quantifiable except the parts that matter. Kindness, imagination, peace, connection. We've replaced warmth with Wi-Fi, conversation with captions, and reflection with reaction. It's no wonder people feel disconnected. We're surrounded by signals but starved for meaning. You can see it in the way people move. Everyone's rushing somewhere, eyes on screens, ears plugged, minds elsewhere. We walk through life like ghosts, here but not present, existing but not aware. We multitask ourselves into madness, pretending it's ambition. We don't stop to breathe because stopping feels like failure. Stillness feels unproductive. Silence feels like guilt. So we keep moving, scrolling, producing, consuming, anything to avoid that quiet moment where we might have to face how lost we've become. The system feeds on distraction. If you stay busy enough, you'll never notice how meaningless the motion is. You'll think you're chasing success when you're really just avoiding emptiness. The tragedy is that most people know something's wrong. They can feel it, but they're too tired to fix it. They think if they just push harder by more, optimize longer, maybe happiness will finally download. But it never does. We become spectators of our own lives, watching through screens, narrating moments instead of living them. Everything is filtered, polished, documented, but rarely felt. The heart's gone missing, replaced by habits and hashtags. We call it progress, but it's more like decay in disguise. People say, that's just the way things are now. As if that makes it okay. It doesn't. Being human wasn't supposed to be about perfect systems or endless updates. It was supposed to be about feeling, growing, connecting, creating. But we traded that for efficiency. And in the process, we lost the very thing that made life worth living. We've become excellent at maintaining systems and terrible at maintaining souls. That's the quiet tragedy of modern life. A perfectly functioning world full of people who no longer remember how to live. So here we are, surrounded by noise, information, and comfort, yet starving for meaning. We build a world that moves faster than our hearts can handle, and we call that progress. We've organized our chaos, optimized our madness, and forgotten what it feels like to simply be alive. The screens glow brighter while the people behind them fade dimmer. We've mastered technology, but we've lost touch with ourselves. Maybe the real rebellion isn't louder voices or smarter devices. Maybe it's stillness. Maybe it's remembering that life isn't supposed to be managed. It's meant to be felt. Because all this organized madness will keep spinning forever unless someone decides to step off the wheel and look around. The truth is simple, and it's been waiting underneath all the noise. Being human isn't something you update, automate, or optimize. It's something you remember.